Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are diving deep into one of the most mysterious and least discussed projects in modern military aviation, the secretive US F-47 6th generation fighter that almost no one saw coming, a program surrounded by silence, speculation, and carefully controlled leaks that hint at a massive shift in how future air wars will be fought. For decades, American air dominance has been built on surprise, technology, and the ability to stay several steps ahead of adversaries, and the F-47 appears to be a continuation of that philosophy, not as a public showpiece like the F-22 or F-35, but as a shadow program designed to quietly redefine air combat before rivals even realize what has changed. Unlike previous fighter programs that followed a predictable path of announcements, prototypes, and public testing, the F-47 seems to have emerged from a different playbook, one that prioritizes secrecy and rapid development over political visibility, suggesting the U.S. military learned key lessons from earlier programs that faced delays, cost overruns, and excessive public scrutiny. What makes the F-47 so fascinating is not just what we know, but what we don't know, because the limited information available points toward an aircraft that is less about raw speed or dogfighting prowess, and more about being a flying command center, sensor hub, and digital warfare platform operating at the center of a much larger combat ecosystem. At its core, the F-47 is believed to be built around the concept of manned teaming, meaning it would not fight alone, but instead control and coordinate multiple autonomous or semi-autonomous drone wingmen that extend its reach, firepower, and survivability far beyond what a single aircraft could achieve. This approach changes the very definition of a fighter jet, because the pilot is no longer just flying and fighting, but managing a network of assets, assigning targets, directing electronic attacks, and making strategic decisions in real time, while artificial intelligence handles routine tasks and data overload. Stealth on the F-47 is expected to go far beyond the radar, evading shapes of earlier generations, with adaptive surfaces, advanced materials, and possibly even active stealth systems that can dynamically alter how the aircraft appears to enemy sensors, making detection not just difficult, but unreliable and inconsistent. Instead of simply trying to be invisible, the F-47 may focus on confusing and overwhelming enemy detection systems, feeding them false signals, ghost targets, and misleading data that erodes trust in their own sensors, which can be just as effective as remaining unseen. The propulsion system is another area where the F-47 is believed to break new ground, with adaptive cycle engines that can shift between height, rust, and high efficiency modes, allowing the aircraft to cruise long distances, loiter in contested airspace, or sprint at extreme speeds when necessary. These engines would also generate significantly more electrical power than previous fighters, which is critical for supporting advanced sensors, electronic warfare systems, and potentially even directed energy weapons like lasers, which many analysts believe will become standard equipment on sixth-generation platforms. In terms of sensors, the F-47 is rumored to have a fully distributed sensing system where the entire airframe acts as a sensor, collecting radar, infrared, electronic, and visual data from every angle, then fusing it into a single, coherent picture of the battle space. This level of sensor fusion would allow the pilot to see threats and opportunities far beyond line of sight, often before the enemy even realizes they are being tracked, turning information dominance into a decisive weapon rather than just a support function. Communication is another defining feature, because the F-47 is expected to operate in environments where traditional communications are jammed, disrupted, or compromised, requiring resilient, low-probability, intercept data links that can maintain coordination even under intense electronic attack. The aircraft may also be capable of acting as a gateway between different military networks, translating and sharing data between older platforms, drones, satellites, and ground forces, effectively knitting the entire force into a single adaptive combat system. One of the most intriguing aspects of the F-47 is the possibility that it was designed from the beginning to be modular, allowing systems, sensors, and even weapons to be swapped or upgraded far more easily than on previous fighters, dramatically shortening the time needed to adapt to new threats. This modular approach would mean the F-47 is not a static design frozen at the moment it enters service, but a constantly evolving platform that can incorporate new technologies as they mature, keeping it relevant for decades without requiring a full replacement program. Weapons carried by the F-47 are expected to reflect this forward-looking mindset with a mix of traditional air-to-air and air-to-ground munitions, hypersonic weapons, electronic attack payloads, and possibly directed energy systems designed to disable or destroy incoming threats without expending conventional ammunition. The internal weapons bays are likely optimized not just for stealth, but for flexibility, allowing the aircraft to tailor its loadout for different missions ranging from air superiority to deep strike to command and control, all while remaining largely undetectable. Artificial intelligence plays a central role in the F-47's concept, not as a replacement for the pilot, but as an intelligent assistant that can process vast amounts of data, suggest tactics, prioritize threats, and even take limited control in high workload situations. This partnership between human judgment and machine speed is crucial, because modern air combat unfolds at a pace that can overwhelm even the most experienced pilots, and the F-47 appears designed to ensure the human remains in control while being empowered rather than burdened by technology. The cockpit itself is rumored to be radically different from anything seen before, with minimal physical controls, advanced augmented reality displays, and helmet systems that project information directly into the pilot's field of view, reducing the need to look down or switch between screens. Training for the F-47 would therefore focus not just on flying skills, but on managing complex systems, making rapid decisions under uncertainty, and understanding how to leverage AI and unmanned teammates effectively, reshaping what it means to be a fighter pilot. Strategically, the existence of the F-47 sends a powerful message because it suggests the United States is preparing for conflicts against highly capable adversaries with advanced air defenses, electronic warfare, and anti-satellite capabilities, where traditional advantages can no longer be taken for granted. By developing such a platform largely out of the public eye, the U.S. retains the element of surprise, forcing potential rivals to plan against an unknown capability rather than a clearly defined system, which complicates their strategies and increases uncertainty. The name F-47 itself has sparked speculation, with some suggesting it may not even represent a single aircraft, but rather a family of systems or a designation used to obscure the true nature of the program, adding another layer of ambiguity to an already secretive project. It is also possible that the F-47 is not intended to replace existing fighters outright, but to complement them, operating alongside F-35s, bombers, and drones as the high-end spearhead in the most contested environments where survivability and information dominance are paramount. This layered approach to air power allows the U.S. to balance cost and capability, using more affordable platforms for routine missions while reserving the most advanced and expensive systems for scenarios where they are truly needed. From an industrial perspective, the F-47 may represent a shift in how military aircraft are developed, with faster design cycles, greater use of digital engineering, and closer collaboration between the Air Force, contractors, and technology firms specializing in software and AI. These methods could significantly reduce development time and allow rapid prototyping and testing, making it possible to field new capabilities in years rather than decades, which is critical in an era of rapid technological change. Critics, however, warn that such secrecy and complexity come with risks, including escalating costs, integration challenges, and the danger of over-reliance on unproven technologies, especially when operating in the unforgiving environment of high-intensity warfare. Supporters counter that these risks are unavoidable if air superiority is to be maintained, arguing that incremental improvements are no longer sufficient against adversaries who are rapidly closing the technological gap. What is clear is that the F-47 embodies a vision of air combat where the fighter is no longer an isolated machine, but a node in a vast, intelligent network that spans air, space, cyber, and the electromagnetic spectrum. In this vision, victory is achieved not by a single dogfight or missile shot, but by controlling the flow of information, denying the enemy's situational awareness, and striking precisely at moments of maximum advantage. The secrecy surrounding the F-47 may mean we won't see dramatic unveiling ceremonies or airshow appearances anytime soon, but its influence could already be shaping doctrine, training, and the development of other systems across the U.S. military. As more elements of this next-generation ecosystem come into view, from loyal wingman drones to advanced command networks, the outlines of the F-47's role will become clearer, even if the aircraft itself remains hidden. Ultimately, the story of the F-47 is not just about a new fighter jet, but about a fundamental transformation in how wars in the air will be planned, fought, and won in the decades to come. Whether the F-47 ever becomes a publicly acknowledged symbol of American air power or remains a shadowy guardian of the skies, its existence signals that the race for air dominance is far from over, and that the next leap forward may arrive long before anyone expects it. And as history has shown time and again, it is often the aircraft you don't see, the programs you don't hear about, and the capabilities that remain unspoken that ultimately shape the balance of power in the sky.